Hello everyone and welcome to another video here of the 2025 Tour de France. And stage 3 offers the sprinter their clearest opportunity yet, a stage of 178.3 kilometers from Valenciennes to Dunkirk. The day features just 800 meters of elevation gain across rolling terrain, perfect conditions for a high-speed bunch sprint, assuming the winds don't have other plans. As mentioned, the stage starts in Valenciennes, a city nestled near the Belgian border with a rich industrial and artistic past. Once known for its coal mining and lace making, the city also played a vital part during the two world wars. Today, it sends the peloton northward through the Hauts-de-France region, passing towns like Orchies, Seclin, Bethune, and Eastberge. Familiar terrain to riders that have done Paris-Roubaix and the 4 days of Dunkirk. Speaking of Paris-Roubaix, this stage doesn't include any cobbles, but Valenciennes is notoriously close to the Truon-Arenberg, and unfortunately we're not going to be seeing that here in the Tour de France. And obviously, having ridden it myself, I can attest to how difficult it can be, and there could be several crashes as we've seen in the past. So it's definitely not going to be something that we will see Jonas Vingegaard going down, or even Remco Evenepoel, much to the annoyance of Tadej Pogačar for sure. Anyways, the first half of this stage is mostly flat, allowing breakaways to form and teams to settle into a rhythm. The day's only categorized climb, the Mont Cassel, arrives at 147.4 kilometers. It's a mild ascent by Tour de France standards, 2.3 kilometers at an average of 3.8%. Still, it serves as a launch pad potentially for late attackers, especially since it's been used in reverse earlier in the race and features heavily in the 4 days of Dunkirk. The town of Cassel itself, perched atop a hill with cobbled streets and panoramic views, was once a strategic military site and now adds to a touch of medieval charm to the race. After cresting Mont Cassel, the riders drop into the flatlands with just over 30 kilometers to go. From Wormhout to the finish, the road is wide and exposed, making crosswinds a potential wildcard. If the winds blow strong off the North Sea, expect nervous positioning and possible echelon action, but if it stays calm, the sprinters teams will have everything under control for sure. The stage finishes in Dunkirk, France's northernmost city, and a place forever etched into history for the heroic evacuation of Allied troops in World War II. It's also a familiar host to cycling, having been a fixture in the regional calendar for decades. The Tour de France last passed through in 2022 when the peloton departed the port city for Calais, and Wout van Aert launched a stunning solo attack to the victory. But for the last tour finish in Dunkirk itself, we have to go back to 2001 when the city hosted the Grand Depart, and it was Christian Moreau who took the prologue and the first yellow jersey. The riders will have 10, 6 and 4 bonus seconds to fight for at the finish, and the intermediate sprint comes with 60 kilometers to go as well, so there will be something for the riders to fight for mid-stage. And in terms of the finish into Dunkirk, it's relatively straightforward when we look at the profile, but they will have a sharp right-hand turn, and then the road meanders towards the finish, and they will finish near the river inside the city itself. So it will be a slightly technical sprint finish, but for sure expect a chaotic high-speed drag race to the line, and perhaps the first true showdown between the peloton's fastest men. And when we think of that, we have obviously a few names in mind. Jonathan Malan, probably the principal rider of most, coming with a very strong little Trek team, and also Tim Merlier, who looked very strong, dominating completely many of the races he's been in this year. However, we have already had the Dunkirk Classic this year, and there we saw Pascal Ackermann narrowly beating out Biniam Girmay, and both these riders are in the race, so potentially these two can be featuring towards the pointy end here as well. But Tim Merlier for me is looking super strong. He has a very, very strong team behind him, and I think that could be what really separates him from his opposition. We haven't really seen Tim Merlier and Jonathan Malan in the last few weeks up against each other, but here it could be a very, very very brutal showdown between the two. There are other riders to think of as well. Jake Stewart, Biniam Girmay, as mentioned earlier. They can, if they can jump on the right wheel, utilize the momentum of those sprint teams. And if it is a bit of a chaotic sprint, it really could be anyone taking the win. Arnaud Démare as well would definitely love to take a Tour de France stage win. He hasn't won one for many years, so maybe the Frenchman will be the man to come out on top. But that is basically it for this video. We'll make sure to see what happens on the stage. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you all again tomorrow for stage 4. But for now, thank you for watching, and remember to check out our podcast as well. But thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.